Welcome to this morning session. I'm Kate Bulkley. This is the PSB Commissioner Conversation session. My feeling is that with Ofcom's urging to the PSBs to lean into children's programming or face possible repercussions, and also many of you may have been to the BFI Young Audiences Content Fund session yesterday, obviously that coming out of the mist, means it's an interesting time to be in a PSB Kids commissioning seat, and we've got a lot of the senior people with us here today, so I think it'll be a very interesting conversation. I mentioned the BFI YSC fund at the top. I also mentioned the increased commissions, or let's say leaning into children's content in a bigger way because of Ofcom. But this is a really competitive landscape, as you all know, with YouTube, with SVOD, and obviously we've got Disney Plus coming. So it's I think will be a very interesting conversation. What we're going to do is each one of our panelists, and we've got a double act on the end, which I'll explain in a second, are going to talk through what it is they want, what they're looking for. And that's, of course, that's the meat. You know, what is it they want, where are they, what are they thinking? And then we'll talk a little bit among ourselves about maybe some of the trends, and then we'll get to you, the audience, at the end. So I'm going to introduce everyone first, and then we'll get going. I'm going to start at the far end where we have our double act. You might notice there are two ladies at the end. They're both named Louise, which is helpful for me as a moderator. The one on the far side is Louise Maloney. She is Acquisitions and Programming Manager for Milkshake, which obviously is part of Channel 5. Next to her is another Louise. This is Louise Bucknell. She is VP Programming at Viacom International Media Networks, Kids, UK and Ireland. Louise is responsible for leading the strategic, editorial, and operational aspects of Milkshake. So basically, she's the other Louise's boss, right?
Yes,
okay,
yes.
There we go. And the reason that we have, and I should also say she also oversees Nickelodeon, Nicktoons, Nick Jr., and she's also on the YACF advisory panel, which is the BFI fund. The reason we have two Louises is because one of the Louises, Louise Bucknell, has lost her voice. Now, gee, I don't know how she did that with all this talking and parties. I can't imagine.
I don't know, but look, it's just
right. Okay. So we're gonna struggle through here with the double act with Louise. Okay. Next to the double act Louise, we have Carl Warner. He's the new controller of E4, which is C4's digital channel aimed at 16 to 34s. Prior to this, Carl ran his own production company. He made shows like The Class of '92 and £1 Million Menu. Next to Carl, we have Sean Wynn Roberts. She is a content commissioner at S4C. She commissions all the children's content on preschool brand Q, and she also the older skewing Staunch channel that they have. Where was I? Last but not least, we have, I've gone backwards here, sorry, is Simon Tompkins. Simon Tompkins is Manager of Program Strategy, New and Future Audiences at ITV. I love that. New and future audiences. To infinity and beyond. Yes, okay. Yeah. He manages the programming and scheduling of ITV's youngest skewing channels, which is obviously ITV2, ITVB, and CITV. So welcome, Simon. Let's start with Simon. Let's start with you. So I think you have a showreel to start. Do you want to say something before we run the showreel?
It's a mix of what we've been showing on air for the last 12 months and a little bit of a preview of shows still to come.
Okay, great. So can we just start the showreel?
I promise that you'll never find another like me. Yes! I'm the only one. Such drama! Let me keep you company.
gonna love you like me.
Hey kids,
Spelling is fun.
girl, there ain't no I-N-T.
But you know there is a me.
Strike the band of 1, 2, 3.
Promise that you'll never find another like me.
Girl, there ain't no I-N-T.
But you know there is a me.
Can't spell awesome without me.
I promise that you'll never find another like me.
I'm on my way. I'm the only one of me. Only that's the fun of me.
Get ready, Team Natrix. It's
Payback time.
You're the only one of you. Baby, that's the fun of you. Girl, there ain't no I-N-T.
Is that a starfish? Hello. Eating a
trouble.
Oh, I hope that would take longer and be more entertaining.
Strike the band of 1, 2, 3.
You can't spell awesome without me.
You're the only one of you. Baby, that's the fun of you.
And I promise that nobody's gonna love you like me.
That's good. Yeah. So, Simon, why don't you talk us through, I think, your slides up? Yeah. So this is obviously a little hard to see, so you who are sort of can't see it, we're going to talk through it. But there's a theme here, right? There's a lot of the points that start with live. So why don't you talk us through what it is you're looking for?
Okay, so up there, I know there's quite a lot of information, but this is the commissioning opportunities for CITV. So you can see it's all live action. So we're looking at 3 areas, and this is all part of the Young Audiences Content Fund. So this is what we're looking for. You've probably seen the press release that went out last week. You can go onto the ITV commissioning website. All the full details are there of exactly what we're looking for. So we're looking to commission in live action. So there's 3 areas. The first is a scripted series. So a comedy or drama. We're looking ideally at 13 by 30 minutes, single camera, shot on location outside of London, set in a relatable precinct with recognisable characters that the core CITV audience will really recognise.
What is that puffing noise? Can we
I
fix
know,
the
it's a
audio,
bit annoying.
guys? Do you hear the puffing? I think it's when you talk. Say something.
It is. But
Did you hear that? He finishes and he goes, "Pfft." Anyway, if you can fix it, our audio people.
sorry
Got it?
about that. We'll carry on.
We'll carry on.
Yeah,
So set in a
ignore
relatable
that.
precinct, which means obviously like a known place is what you're trying to say. Relatable precinct.
Relatable, yes, a known, recognisable place.
Okay, Big Ben or something. I mean, is that, what do you mean?
Well, it can be
Landmarks.
a school,
Okay.
a youth club,
Got it.
holiday park.
Got it.
Somewhere where kids
Okay.
have been in their lives and kind of understand.
Okay, good.
The next one is a live action game show, challenge show. Okay. So CITV have been very active in the past with game shows.
Mm-hmm. Maybe
So-
we have a handheld you could use because it's very annoying.
So within the last year, we've commissioned 2 game shows. So we had the second series of Spy School, as well as
Spy School, that's right.
Yep,
And what's the other one?
Project Z.
Right, that's right. And that's the one you did in,
Yeah, with
Working with
S4C.
S4C,
Did
okay.
the original
Right.
Welsh language version.
yep.
So, yep, game shows, key part of CITV. So we're looking at a
Thank you.
maximum.
Thank you. So hold it up.
Yep.
Yep, there you go.
So we are
Better.
looking, again, 13 by 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Can be studio-based or location, and originality is a priority because we've had a number, as I say, of game shows on the channel in the past. So if you look at the 2 examples I just mentioned, one was letting kids become spies, one was kids escaping from zombies in their school. So, the bar is high.
So no zombies and no spies.
Well,
Originality.
originality.
Okay.
Yes, but if you want a zombie spy, you could.
Okay, maybe a zombie spy, okay.
And finally, the third area that we're looking at, again, live action, is a make and do arts and craft show. So again, we're looking at a maximum of 13 by 30, studio-based, give the audience the inspiration to get creative. So, as I say, we put this tender out last week. I hope a lot of you saw that. The press release went out. Further information is on the ITV commissioning website.
And you have a deadline, right?
Yep, the deadline is Friday, the 30th of August. So there's about 2 months to go.
And then how fast will they hear back if they get it in by that deadline? Will it be 3 weeks, 6 months?
We can't put a fine kind of date
Okay.
on it. It all depends on the number of submissions that we receive.
Okay.
But we are looking to get some new projects on screen in 2020. So, we've reacted to the fund very quickly. This is our very kind of public declaration of support for the fund, and the email address is there. So that is the way to submit.
So the CITV budget's gone up by, I think, 10%, right?
That's correct.
So where are we now? Sort of 3 million, 4 million? What is your total budget?
I can't.
You can't say that.
Comment
Okay.
on that.
And
but
what kind of tariffs are you looking at for these? I mean, can you give us a ballpark for what you'd be willing to give these fine people for making lovely live action shows?
it all depends on the scale of the project, but as always with CITV, they're competitive market rates.
Okay. One thing I did want to say before we go on to Sean Ed is I don't see any call for animation here. So you feel like you have enough.
So we've been quite active recently in the world of UK animation. So you saw in the show reel there 2 projects, The Rubbish World of Dave Spud, which launches in the autumn. Mm-hmm. It's a great show, set in Manchester, great voice cast, people like Jane Horrocks, Johnny Vegas, and also Lloyd of the Flies, which is a production with a project we're doing with Aardman.
Right,
So
yeah,
that'll be,
cool.
coming up.
So you really don't need any more animation
Well, with
at the
our
moment.
ongoing commitment with new episodes of Mr. Bean, Thunderbirds A Go, Robozuna, we feel we need to rebalance the channel. So live action, for the moment, is our priority.
Perfect.
So that's what we're using the fund at the present moment for.
Great, really, really interesting. Thank you so much, Simon. Okay, so Sean Ed, you've got a show reel. Tell us what's going to be on this show reel, or cue it up for us.
Well, I've chosen 3 programs that kind of share with you what we are, really. So the first one deals with death for preschool, and we're not pulling any punches, we're not pretending. It's, we don't understand this. Death happens to your pet or a grown-up or a friend. It happens, it hurts, and you're not going to see them again. So, that's very, very difficult subject to deal with for preschool. The second one is a format that we're really proud of, which has been mentioned already. It's a format that's really risky. So we like being risky because we're small. We can just take risks. And in the case of Project Z, it just kind of went from strength to strength. And so that's been great for us. And the third clip comes from a season that we had about a month ago, and this was for our Stunch slot, which is a kids slot, and it was dealing with LGBT issues and a season of programmes in all kinds of formats.
Bechod o'n i de. Lle sy'n môl mahi rwan? Fanna de. Naci, lle mae go iawn de. Mond I chorffi sy'n fanna. Pitsu! Pitsu! Ti'n meddwl mae fama mai? Wel, dyna mae pobl yn dweud de. Fo pobl sydd wedi marw yn mynd fyny'r cymyla.
Elwch, mae colli pobl ac anifeiliaid da ni wedi caru yn greulon ac anheg. Ond mae marwolaeth yn rhan o gylch bywyd.
O'n i byth danghofio di. Byth bysoedd amen.
Maen nhw bron a'ch cyrraedd chi. Rhaid i chi gyrraedd y llyfrgell na. Prysio! Ie, ti'n bai, rwy'n bai. Os dim byd yn stopio tir a bod yn tir. Croeso i ymbarel. I'm gay!
Gwneud beth sy'n naturiol I chdi sy'n bwysig.
Mae bach yn angheg bod bechgyn sy'n gwisgo coed ddim really yn gallu mynd mas, achos mae merched yn gallu ond pan ddim bechgyn.
Does dim mam a dad da fi. Dad a dad sy da fi.
Mae'n cymryd guts I fod yn tŷ dy hun weithio.
Good. So here are your commissioning priorities. Why don't you talk us through those? It looks like dramas first.
Well, the interesting thing about this is that, of course, as Simon mentioned, we're really, really excited about the fund, and all of these commissions, apart from one, actually comes out of the ambition that we have for the fund. So they're mainly things that we can't do because we're quite a small budget. So the first one is an ambitious drama for kids. We're open to any kind of ideas, any precinct, any, it will probably be either 6 times 30 or 8 times 30 for delivery and broadcasting in 2020, 2021.
You said to me in the green room that you were sort of interested in Scam. Is that the drama, or is that more for the innovative format? I suppose?
Well, that's more the innovative formats, because we're really impressed by what's happening in Scandinavia, and as a small country, small language, we really have to reach out. We're finding it so difficult to punch above Netflix and all the fantastic content that kids can access, because all of our content is in Welsh, but of course our kids also speak English, and they can watch anything they like. So these innovative formats are very, very appealing to us. They could be short. I don't know if you know about Scam or The Shame or any of the others. They're basically multi-platform, massive kind of on social media. So you've got content on the TVs, on other platforms. Characters will have their own Instagram page, and all that kind of stuff happens. So that's appealing to us, but it doesn't have to be like that. So I'm actually looking for completely innovative. If you've got, maybe it could be documentary, it could be scripted or non-scripted, it could be any kind of content. I'm just really interested in talking about brand new formats and brand new ways of reaching the 13 to 16s, which again is a completely new audience for us as a result of the YCF.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I can't find anywhere is an animation for kids with a female lead that doesn't involve any unicorns or pink or anything like that. So if you've got a project that you're looking for a pre-sale or acquisitions, we're not talking about a massive investment here, but definitely if you've got a project with feisty girls, cool kids, girls that are funny, clever, and so on. We know girls are funny and clever, but we just want to see them on screen. And please come and have a chat. And then the other thing I wanted to draw your attention to is that the Celtic nations have a call out at the moment, and you will find it on that URL, which is incredibly long. But there's a call out for 2 formats. One is drama for kids, and the other one is factual entertainment for kids. So we're working with our partners in Ireland and Scotland for brand new content. Again, hoping that companies can then put it into the fund. So the fund is really making a difference for us, and it means that we can really venture into a new kind of content, new format, and new audiences, which is great.
It's very exciting, actually. You're
Really
right.
exciting.
I mean, you're being much more ambitious, really, because of the fund, which is great.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Especially in the older group. Yeah.
In the older group, right. So get your pitches in to Sinead. Carl, let's come to you now. Now, you have a show reel. I think it's about the new teen proposition. Do you want to cue that up for us? Talk about the teen proposition.
So this is I suppose probably best described as a mood tape that captures a kind of tone and ambition for the teen proposition that we've just recently announced. Should we have a quick watch of it?
Okay.
Let's get on with the show.
It's a serious team.
Hello.
Banter! I consider myself as Instagram famous. I've got 15,000 followers on Instagram. I love it.
Who has been the best kisser over the years? Georgie Porter.
Before I found someone who just got me on every single level.
Do you think that you've ever been in love?
I think maybe you confuse lust with love.
Some people get over it. I got that from Pride.
I always wanted to be male. I wanted to be my parents' son.
Before I moved into the hostel, my life was really stressful because I was pregnant as well.
If I could go back and say, what are you doing? Chill out, mate.
It's about expressing yourself, being loud, like, be yourself, be crazy.
You got a peak.
Yeah. Peak, that's it, You should see me in winter, I'm basically see-through.
I realised I'm not a gay girl, I'm a straight guy. God, yeah, that is quite a shocker.
I have that cheeky wing. Hey, you can't have chicken in a Lamborghini.
Did you just puke?
Beyonce's meant to be the perfect woman. This is going to make you poo.
Hi.
straight for the stump.
What makes a good sext?
Normally I just send them a picture of my willy.
Wow.
It's really important for me to be there for other people who are experiencing the same thing that I am.
Kind of realise that it's okay to be like not stick thin.
The more that I stand out, the less that they bullied me.
Mugging me.
Mental. What's going on?
YOLO like a pro, bro.
That's good. Let me give it 10.
What's got more bang for its buck?
You're on the front cover of Attitude magazine.
A black gay character on the show. He represents a lot of different people.
Exciting times, eh?
Cool. So, Carl, we've heard a lot about this teen proposition, the seven-figure sum, so we're all assuming it's at least $1 million that you're putting into this. Okay, but you can't say any more than that.
No.
Tell us a little bit more about it, though. I mean, what is it exactly that it's digital first, so it's actually not going to show up on Channel 4. It'll be on YouTube.
YouTube, that's right. So we're going. So this will be launching in the sort of January 2020 or the beginning of 2020. We've committed to a seven-figure sum, as you said. It will sit on YouTube. We've decided YouTube is probably the best platform to reach that audience, 13 to 16-year-olds. It'll be its own channel. There won't be any advertising, so it'll be a safe space for that audience. And our ambition is to release a new video a week, so it's about 150 videos in total over the year. That doesn't quite work, those numbers, but yeah, it will be at least one a week, one new video. And that sometimes that'll be completely new content, or it'll be content that we've repackaged for that audience from content that we already have.
So how much will be new commissions? I mean, 50-50 or 20?
Out of that number,
yeah.
It's hard to say. I wouldn't know.
You don't know.
But not out of that number, because in the end, we'll commit that amount of money to it. How many exact hours we get from that, I'd say at this stage.
Right.
So yeah, and it's based around those three pillars that we sort of teased out in that tape. So the first being aspirational, which sort of speaks to those kind of influencers that might do makeover videos, or you might get sort of stories about business or making money. So sort of themes that we know that sort of part of the audience are interested in. Funny, which is kind of obvious. We'll look at things that are in that kind of hidden camera space. Also scripted. We've done some scripted for that audience recently, and it worked really, really well. And then the final is real, which we've called real. So aspirational, funny, and real. And real is about more of those authentic stories, and sometimes quite hard hitting, but they have, importantly, they have that authenticity. So yeah, those are three things. We're going to appoint an editorial lead for this whole proposition in probably the autumn time. So that person will be the best person to approach with new ideas. They'll be able to break down the budgets and give more detail around that as well.
And what should they be doing now? Should they be pitching now or waiting till this lead comes into place?
I'm sort of involved in it, so you can absolutely start talking to me about those ideas or projects, but it will make more sense once the editorial lead's in place.
Okay. And just one more question, because it's interesting now, you're really pushing this to YouTube.
Yeah.
Will this content end up at some point on a actual linear channel or on all four or not?
Yeah, I think if the content feels like it should, absolutely. Linear is still really important for us across the portfolio. So our ambition is to obviously find great content, shows, formats, whatever it might be, and to give them the biggest sort of platform.
Now, obviously, that's not going to be accessible for the Youth Audiences Content Fund because it's YouTube and they won't fund that. So talk about what you're doing with...
So this is really exciting. Lots of people, I think, are probably excited about this, but this is massively exciting for us. I assume you all know about how the fund works. That's right. We've probably talked a lot about it already. But for E4 particularly, and that's obviously the area I'm mostly focused on, it's creating lots of new opportunities, particularly around the scripted sort of space and in drama, because that has become a riskier area for us to invest in because of the Netflixes of the world and the saturation of drama, big budget drama. So this gives us a real opportunity to do some drama for that particular audience. And we're already looking at one project in that space, but we're also looking at a game show, and we're also looking at a factual drama, and a sort of brand extension of something we've already got. So it's quite a varied range of things that you can pitch in for that. And there's no one commissioner looking after the contestable fund sort of pitches at Channel 4. So whoever you have a relationship with, you should just approach them.
Okay. Then you wanted to talk a little bit about comedy, I think, comedy entertainment.
Yes. Well, again, I know you'll probably know this. E4 is obviously targeting 16 to 34s. That's our main focus. But our sweet spot really is 16 to 24. So the sort of upper end of the teen audience. But comedy is massively important to us. We've recently put briefs out around that area, so sort of low-cost comedy entertainment formats that have a sort of real punch and sort of cut-through value to them. Anything that feels too sort of soft or low concept probably won't really cut it for us, I'm afraid. But that's a really important area for us. We're supercharging it, and it's a fast track to new and established talent. So some of the things we've announced recently, like Pants on Fire, has quite a big name host in that with Emma Willis, but it have lots of new comics and talent coming through as well. And we think that kind of combination is probably the best formula for getting these shows noticed. And then in the fact, should I just keep going?
Yeah,
I'll keep going. I'm on a roll. I'm not going to stop.
That's fine.
And then Fact Then, we're looking for low cost Fact Then. Our sort of average tariff for that is about 150k an hour. Obviously, we're always, pleased when people say they can do it for less than that, and it does make the proposition much more appealing if you can. But that's our average tariff. So, and by Fact Then, I mean things like tattoo fixers, Don't Tell the Bride. We would love our version of a Come Dine With Me. That's obviously the holy grail. Yeah. And could you do a youth skew, a sort of much more youth skewing version of that? Would be brilliant. And on the other end of that kind of Fact Then reality spectrum, we're looking for a very big event piece for next year that might run for sort of 5 or 6 weeks. It's what you'd expect in terms of the sort of DNA of these shows: iconic location, a sort of a fixed iconic location, an aspirational cast, a fast turnaround sort of delivery, so it means the audience can interact with it. So that's a big priority for us. And then finally, comedy in the scripted space. Fiona and her team have just put out a brief, and we're looking for gang shows, quite rude. Lots of sexual references, frankly.
Don't hold back, is what you're saying?
I know, yeah, don't hold back. Whenever I say it, I sort of feel like I'm like some weird pervert, but loads of sex, come on. But again, it's often the formula that works for this audience, the best of it being the in-betweeners.
Yeah, okay, well, that's great. We'll come back to more with C4. So I'm going to go to the double act Louise. So I'm not sure who's going to speak, probably the other Louise, but we have a show reel. Does somebody want to cue it up?
The show reel, which is Milkshake.
Just show it, or do you want to say something about it?
So Milkshake is preschool brand on Channel 5, breakfast block. We are the only terrestrial that has content on. And yes, it's the show reel, because this is quite hard.
Everyone, I think we're ready to start.
Yeah! Come on then, let's get stuck in.
Good morning, Milkshakers.
Should we have a birthday card?
Choo-choo! Are you ready for an adventure?
Oh, yes.
Today, we celebrate Chinese New Year.
Hooray! This is fun!
Come on, Pumpy.
Naughty, naughty!
I need to investigate.
We did it today! This is amazing!
What could be more special than that?
Let's get cooking.
Hello, we're having a party. Here we go.
Hello, Milkshakers.
Hello, we're here to tell a story.
Okay, so I think there's a slide now. This is your current series slide. Do you want to talk us a little bit through that?
So these are some of our current series. As you can see, we're the best of British iconic characters, but we've also got world-class content from Nick Jr., like Paw Patrol. We have 9 presenters in the studio and a monkey, Milkshake monkey. And these are some of the series that we have, but we've got a couple of clips to show you if you want to introduce them.
Shane the Chef, yes. This is it showcases the series brilliantly. It's about healthy eating, first and foremost, and getting children into new recipes. But the clip, it really showcases the relationship between Shane and his daughter Izzy. He's a single parent family. He looks after Izzy. And
so this is the kind of show you really love, yeah?
Yes.
Let's see the clip.
Oh, Mum.
How you doing laying the tables, Izzy? You're usually done by now. Izzy? Oh, I see.
Mum used to lay the tables every morning.
I know it's tough without her, but we're doing okay, aren't we?
We wanted to show that because Milkshake's all about heart as well as humour, and we felt that really showcased, how you show emotional connections with kids, especially about their families.
Right.
So that was sort of like a showcase of that.
That's good. Now, do you want to do the next clip now?
Yeah.
And I'm talking really quiet.
Yeah, I know.
Right, so the next clip. Do we want to do the next clip? Do you want to do that up for us?
It's
Other Louise, yeah.
Yes, it's from our mixed media series, Flugels, and it's about discovery and exploring the human world, as they refer to them, and it's accidental learning.
What are we missing?
It's inflating!
Hot air is the missing part, sir. The flame under the balloon in Boomer's picture was heating up the air inside.
Everybody, the balloon! Come back, balloon!
Uh-oh. It's scientifically fascinating. Hot air must cause things to rise, like balloons.
Guys?
And Junior Flugel Boomer?
Stop that hairdryer and follow that flugel!
So this just gives you an example of, sort of like the quite upbeat content that we have. These are 3 aliens. They explore the world, and it's a way of doing science and learning in a very, very different way. And we're really excited to announce today that these are 6 new commissions that we've had. A brand new series of Peppa Pig, a brand new series of Flugels, and Little Princess for the autumn. We're super excited about that. Some acquisitions. Thomas and Friends, who goes around the world. Pirata and Capitano, which is a seafaring pirate. We're really excited. We've got a new Milkshake Monkey series, which is all about history and geography. So this is something quite different for us. It's an in-house show. And we've even got Milkshake Monkey here. I don't know if she's here, Helena, who's our 9th presenter. So we're very excited about it. So all of these are coming for the autumn. So we're really excited about that. So if you can see this, this is what we're looking forward to.
Yes. Obviously, we're preschool. We're 2 to 5. Our core is sort of sweet spot is 3 to 4. We're looking for animation and starting to look at live action now as well. Factual and comedy live action series. For Milkshake, it's the real core values we need. It's heart and humour, adventure, curiosity, and celebrating and reflecting the lives of British kids on screen is really key to Milkshake. We're quite traditional in the sense that obviously we have the presenters, there's 9 of them. They work on rotation and they do a lot of links and introduction, and it's really connecting with the child, the audience at home, and showcasing first moments for them, big achievements, their birthday cards. So we like to feel that they feel really encompassing and very homey and welcoming for them. In terms of what we're looking for, it might be easy to tell you what we're not looking for.
We don't want a pig show, we don't want a dog show, we don't want a train show. We've got those.
So no trains, no dogs,
no pigs.
No pigs.
Pig,
okay,
Peppa,
right.
Paul,
Got
Thomas.
Peppa. Yeah, all right.
But I think sort of we look at things around the Early Years Foundation, because this is sort of like 2 to 5. So that's kind of quite a basis for what we look at. Character and story driven, visual diversity, telling stories in a different way. Things that we're really interested in, creativity and outdoor play. This is something that's very, very interesting to us. Manners, fairy tales done in a different way. We want to look at UK and world culture as well, how we could do that in a Milkshake way. STEM's very interesting to us, healthy living. But I think, sort of we will look at most pitches because we also work across, I'd work across Nick Jr. as well, so I
think that's kind of the interesting thing about you, because you're Milkshake, Channel 5, but you're also this other stuff,
Absolutely,
the Nick.
yeah.
And so you're willing to look across, and
100%.
maybe, let's say, the budgets would be a little bigger because it was going across different channel platforms.
Absolutely. I mean, we're very flexible in the way that we work, and we have different deal structures. But anything that comes in, we share across. I'm on the International Programming Council for Nickelodeon, so we would review for Nick Jr. as well at the same time. They are different brands, but then we would look and see what would fit for us. And we're really excited about the Young Audiences Content Fund. We've got 6 shows applying currently, high-end animation, factual, and also a preschool drama. So these are new things that we haven't done before. So we're very excited about those.
So say those again. It was high-end
animation, a live-action drama, and a factual entertainment show.
Factual entertainment.
Yes.
And that's all going to be part of the Youth Content Fund, you said?
Yes, we're looking to commission those, and they're applying.
Okay. Because I had read that you were doubling the Milkshake budget with a 7-figure boost anyway, right?
Absolutely, it's very exciting. So we spent the last year really looking at what we want. Milkshake is doing fantastically well, and its block, it's the #1 preschool channel for kids 4 to 15. We've had 6 years of growth on linear, which is amazing. And so Channel 5, Ben Frau and Alison Bukanovic, my bosses, we looked at how we could then, sort of continue to build on Milkshake as a brand, but also as this brilliant British content that we have. So yes, we've doubled the budget in the Ofcom review, the children's review. We did a lot of work on that, and we're looking to increase our hours to 50 hours by 2021. So
where are you now?
It was about 30.
30. So you're going to
brand new hours.
Brand new hours.
Yeah,
so
brand new
30 brand new hours. Now it's going to go to 50 by
2021.
2021. Okay. Well, that's quite a significant increase. Okay.
Yeah, it is 65% increase. So we're looking for animation, but live action is interesting to us as well, because obviously those things can be made sometimes a little bit quicker to get on air.
Okay.
And I think it's just the fund is really interesting for us, because it just means we can diversify a bit and do sort of shows that are maybe not as commercial as what we would looked at before. So yeah, we're very excited about that, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we will get some of that funding.
Great, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Now listen, I want to open up to you all, because I'm sure you have questions. So we have some mics, I think. So if we could get the mics ready. If you don't have a question, I do have one. But is there anybody who has one? Do you want to ask one of these commissioners, anything about what they're saying? Absolutely no questions. Seriously. No?
It was so clear.
You were so clear.
Clear.
Okay, well, I'm gonna come back to you. All right, there's one. If we get the mic to this, I think it's a man. There, keep your hand up. Sorry, I can't quite see you. Yeah, there we go. If there's another one, get your hand up and we'll get a mic to you.
I'm slightly worried because we went out to dinner last night and you can't tell that I'm a man.
I'm sorry, I just can't see you. Oh, there you are. I got you now. Right. This man runs a fund. He's a banker. Yeah, go ahead.
So just also, it was very impressive. Thank you very much for your ideas.
Tell us your name. Yep.
Sorry. So it's Colin Brown. So I basically, yes, I run a bank, but also do run a YouTube channel called Choo Choo TV. So Choo Choo TV is a big channel. We have 800 million views a month, and our audience is very global. So I'm just really interested. Obviously, this has been very much about UK content, UK audience, but obviously the UK audience is very multicultural in itself. So I'm interested to see, where are you thinking about that kind of, not diversity in terms of character reflection, but diversity in terms of audience reach?
That's an interesting one. I mean, in some ways that plays into the YAC fund too, because they want it to be very British, and it's almost, I mean, at the presentation yesterday, she sort of kept saying British, which is kind of funny, because as we all know, lots of kids programming that's really good, it will travel, right? So it's one of those things. So what would you say, Simon, or anyone want to respond to our question?
So CITV, it's a very long-running British brand. So I would say we reflect all sorts of children's lives. Diversity is kind of key for us. But I would say that in the free-to-air space, one of CITV's distinctions is that we are very British and we have British children on screen, which really sets us apart from many of our competitors. So kind of best of British is still at heart of CITV, but we need to make sure that children from all walks of life are represented on the channel, and we're going to get more children on the channel through this real push for live action content.
I mean, it's an interesting dilemma in a way. Louise, one of the Louises, can probably answer this because, you know, you're a global broadcaster, but obviously Channel 5 is a local broadcaster. So do you think internationally as well, or?
Absolutely. I mean, for Milkshake, we predominantly look for UK content because we are a British preschool brand, and I think we represent kids on screen through our studio content that we have with our presenters, and we celebrate cultural days like Chinese New Year, Grandparents' Day, etc. So we bring kids in through our studio as well. We go out and film with the presenters, make short form, which we have on all different platforms as well, and we sort of we have content on YouTube, but it's to support the linear block and our VOD service and My 5 Player and our VOD services as well. So we try to be sort of on all those platforms where kids are as well.
In a way, Carl, you've got the most out, because you're going to be creating something on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Might go on, what is it called, Choo Choo?
Yeah, I mean, I think the team proposition though will still feel very British. I mean, that, as Simon said, I think that's really important. E4 is slightly different. The offering on E4 is to deliver up the best of American actually content and the best of British, and that's what's made us feel quite unique. Although, as the sort of studios set up their own streaming services and that supply chain potentially being sort of turned off to us, we need to become more and more self-sufficient, and I think we probably will have to become a bit more local feeling, more British feeling, if that, to kind of be a point of difference to those streamers.
Very good point. Now there was another lady there. Go ahead.
Yes, she who hijacks the mic gets to ask the question. Yeah. Hi, Kate O'Connor, I represent Animation UK, and I made this point slightly yesterday, so for those of you in the room, sorry, it's a bit of a repeat, but I just want to say we are so pleased. We lobbied vigorously for the Young Audience Content Fund to be focused on children, have worked with Ofcom and our studios to, hopefully encourage this kind of announcements you're making. So I think there's a moment of this is all potentially really good news for the sector. Thank you, Louises, for talking about the brilliance of British content and our brilliant animation companies ranged around the UK who are worldwide in their reputation for preschool. But to Carl and Simon, I just wanted to say, don't forget animation for that older age group. Don't forget about the strength of animation, our comedy, our sharpness in technique for the older age group, all the stuff that you're announcing, Carl and Simon. I hope that you can review your priority for animation in the not too distant future for the Young Audience Content Fund. So maybe you could both talk a bit more about animation, why you're not doing it and how you're going to do it.
Well, on E4, we've... love that passion. On E4, we've just recently done a partnership with Adult Swim, Channel 4 actually, Portfolio did a partnership with Adult Swim, so we've taken quite a lot of animation from them, things like Rick and Morty, which is obviously huge, and I'm genuinely really interested in that sort of space. To be completely honest, I don't think I've ever had a pitch for an animation at all since I've only been at E4 now for sort of 7 or 8 months, but we'd be really open to it, and I think, again, the contestable fund makes what might be seen as a slightly riskier area for us feel less risky. So we're well up for hearing more ideas. To be honest, I haven't heard many, if any.
That's a
okay,
good point.
We will see more of you then, Kate, won't we? Yeah.
And Simon, you've sort of explained this, but do you want to just reiterate that it's not that you don't like animation, you're just trying to rebalance how much is on the channel, right? Is that...
Yes, at the current moment it is about rebalancing. As I mentioned, and in the show reel, I've got a couple of shows coming up. Dave Spard is kind of the great example. That show just shouts British. It's set in Manchester, really diverse setup, great British vocal cast. Yeah. So on top of that, Mr. Bean, Robozuna, Thunderbirds. Really excited about working with Aardman on Lord of the Flies.
That's going to be cool.
So we have got projects coming through. Mix that in with kind of our international animation that we have on the channel. So for the moment, the focus is on those 3 live action areas. But animation isn't forgotten, because I think we've shown in the last 12 months a commitment to animation.
Okay, other questions? Anyone?
Where's the man at the back?
Yeah, sorry, there.
It's just a comment, really. As a factual entertainment executive producer, I think over the past few years, commissioning factual entertainment has gone down, and we've been, obviously animation and drama has gone up, so I think it's very refreshing to hear that factual entertainment is being commissioned as well. So I just want to make that point as well, because you know, commissioning has gone down for factual entertainment, and animation has ruled in the kids sector a lot, which of course it has. But I think fact ent is something very important, and it's really refreshing to know that that has gone up and it will be going up, which is good. So.
Can I just say, off the back of that, for those, I don't know how many of you know, but we've also changed our terms on E4, so they're far more appealing. They were shit before, I thought. So
that's a quote.
We're in line now with Channel 4's change of terms. So 100% ex-UK. We control more in the UK, but for factual entertainment companies and formats, I think that's a brilliant move, particularly 3/4, because it went from not very good terms to much better terms.
Yeah.
And I would also say as well, for Milkshake, factual entertainment is a real window on the world for kids, and that's something we're very, very interested in, and looking at those formats. To say we've got one format in, which we're super excited about.
We are.
This is one you can't tell us about, right?
Yes.
Come on. We'll not tell anyone.
No. But in terms of your question as well, it's nice to get more pitches for factual entertainment, because we don't get that many, really. So it'd be good if you do have some, please do come and share.
Yeah, good.
It's all part of us wanting to get more children on screen, and one of the areas we're looking at is the make and do art and craft show.
Yeah.
So that's an area we're looking at.
Yeah, it's like you say, it gets more kids on screen. It also helps with diversity, all that stuff. It's like really reflect British kids and get them on screen.
And that's what the fund wants, to kind of reflect children's lives. So factual entertainment goes hand in hand with that.
Right. Other questions? Yes, here's one here.
Hi everyone, Darren Nate, and I work with Simon at CITV. Just going back to the comment on animation, basically before the fund was even announced, we already recognised that CITV needed some British animation on the channel. So the shows that Simon showed, it's been 3 years in the making. So we really want more British animation on the channel. We don't want you to not pitch it into us. We are a British company. We don't have international channels. So do come in and see us. The live action shows, yes, we want to rebalance the channel. That would happen, but our focus is also on animation.
Okay. Anything else? No? Okay, so let me just stop. I'm going to stop, but I'm going to ask one question, quick answer from all of you, because it gives people kind of a feeling for, what you might like. So I'm going to ask you first, Simon. What's your favorite show that you've commissioned recently, or, what's one that really you thought, wow, that's cool?
I think Project Z is just a really striking show. So it started as 4C. It just really blew us away, kids running around in a school as escaping zombies.
And it's multi-platform.
Yeah, it's just ideal for CITV. S4C did a great job on it. We kind of created our own CITV English language version. Diversity was key in that. We kind of covered schools up and down the country.
Yeah.
I don't know if you found this, but some schools were just perfect for a zombie game show. There was like one in Liverpool that kind of had underground tunnels. So
wow.
Just perfect. Yeah. And the shout out to Scrambled as well, which is, as you probably all know, our Simcast weekend morning show that runs for over half the year.
Okay.
The team do a great job on that.
Okay. So, Shauna, do you have a different show, or would you also say the zombie?
What I would say about Project Z is that it was really risky. The production team did a fantastic job, but it kind of came about because we were looking for a sort of zombie. Zombies were a thing, escape rooms were a thing, and just getting all of that into one game show that really worked, and they worked fantastically hard. But the interesting thing about taking a risk is, and sometimes risks don't work. You know, I've got things I would never put up there, and we just keep quiet about those. But but you know, there are projects like Project Z. That IP now for Boom, the company, is really, really. You know, it could go everywhere in the world. So, although our budgets are small, then you know, if we work with you making a good show, then that's something that's in your canon, if you like. Perfect. I was proud of the 3 projects I showed you, and Day and Lolly is just one of our completely big hitters, which is a drama with fantasy elements, and the budget is absolutely minuscule. So it's just
clearly it's hard for them to do one show. Okay, Carl, one show that you really like.
Pants on Fire, which is this new extreme bluffing show hosted by Emma Willis. I think the talent mix will be really interesting, and the format's different, innovative.
Okay, one show, Louise.
I think it has to be Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig.
Ultimately, killer not filler. That's what we look for.
Yeah.
It's the #1 brand, and what's interesting is there's a news report recently that said about how American kids are learning how to speak in a British accent because of Peppa Pig, and we love that.
I love that. Okay, so we have some speed meetings that are going to happen. There's going to be a slide about that. I want to thank our producers, Barry Quinn and also S.L. Hughes. Thank you very much for all your work. And could you please, thank you for coming, and also please join me in thanking our panel, who were wonderful. Thank you.